Alright, so now we're actually going to learn factoring by using the Xbox method. Before this, if you don't know how to fill out your X, go watch the video on how to fill out your X, because this is the second part to the Xbox method. So I written down the steps here. First, you are going to factor out your GCF. Second, you are going to fill out your X. Third, you're going to use that information to fully fill out your box. Fourth, you're going to find the greatest common factors of your rows and columns. And 5, you're going to write your answer in two binomials. So first, let's start off with 3x squared minus x minus 2. So first, we are going to want to fill out our x part. Now, how to fill out our x when we are given an equation, as in ax squared plus bx plus c. So first, in the top of our box is going to be a times c, and the bottom of our box is going to be our value b. Now, whatever multiplies to get to ac and then has to add to b equal to b. So first, I'm going to identify my a equals 3, my b equals -1, and my c equals -2. All right, there's a secret -1 right here, which is why b equals -1 and not 0 or nothing. So first, I'm going to fill in my box, or not my box, sorry, my x. In my top, I'm going to have 3 times -2, which equals -6. So my top is -6, my bottom is -1. The two factors that multiply to -6 but add to -1 would be -3 and a +2. So when I fill out my box, I'm going to fill out, it's always going to be a 2 by 2. My first term is going to be in the first box, and my last term is going to be in the last box. And then I'm going to fill out my factors in the other two boxes. So if I'm looking at this, if I rewrite this again, my first term in my equation is going to be 3x squared. My last term is -2, and then I'm going to fill out my other two according to the two factors I found in x. So I'm going to have -3x and +2x. It does not matter which order you fill these in. It can be either side. So then the next step is to find the greatest common factor of my columns and of my rows. So if I look between these two, my greatest common factor between 3x squared and -3x is going to be a 3 and an x. A 3 goes into both, and an x goes into both. So then my greatest common factor between 2x and -2 is going to be a +2. Then going up into my columns, between 3x squared and 2x, I can just only take out an x, and between -3x and -2, I can only take out a -1. Now, you might ask the question, well, why is the 2 positive and the 1 is negative? Whatever sign you have on your outside, that's going to dictate, all right, that's going to dictate whether it will be positive or negative. And if you ever want to check, you might want to say, well, what is -1 times a +2? It still gives you that -2. If I had a -2 and a -1, it'd get you a +2, so it wouldn't work out. So now my last step is to write my answer in two binomials. I have 3x plus 2, and I have x minus 1. And that is your answer. All right, so my second example is going to be 4x squared plus 2x minus 20. Now again, first, I want to see if anything can go into it. Take out your greatest common factor of your whole thing first. So I see that a 2 can actually go into each. So if I divide everything by 2, I'm going to have 2x squared plus x minus 10, and I'm going to have 2 on the outside. Now, I'm not going to forget about this 2, but I'm only going to worry about my inside polynomial. I'm going to leave the 2 on the outside till the end, but first I'm just going to say my a equals 2, my b equals 1, and my c equals -10. So if I go ahead and fill out my x to the side, a times c is -20, and then b is going to be 1. Two factors of -20 that multiply to -20 but add to 1, okay, are going to be +5 and -4. So now I'm going to use these two factors to fill out my x box. the box part of it. Now again, it's always going to be a 2 by 2. My first term, which is the whole entire term, which is 2x squared, goes in the first box. My last term is negative 10, goes in the last box. Then I use my 2 factors, so I can do 5x and negative 4x, okay, and fill out the rest. It doesn't matter if they're switched, it will come out to the same way. All right, so I'm going to have to find the greatest common factor between 5x and 2x squared, which is just x. Nothing else can go into them greatest common factor wise. Negative 4x and negative 10 is going to be negative 2. Then I'm going to have between 2x squared and negative 4x, I have a positive 2x. And then between negative 10 and a positive 5x, I'm going to just have a positive 5. All right, so my 2 binomials are going to be 2x plus 5 and x minus 2. But what about that 2 we had at the beginning, right? Right here. That's not my only answer. I still need to bring that 2 back down, so that way it is the original answer, which was 4x squared plus 2x minus 20. So you cannot forget that 2 or any greatest common factor that you take out in the beginning.